Okay, how to get your girlfriend. Move your chair over here.
Yeah, it's caught in a bit of root though.
I like a bit of a root. Let's talk about how to get your girlfriend into cycling. What you doing down there? Natasha, what would be probably what your #1 tip? Let's say a guy's watching this video and they want to get their girlfriend. It could be their wife, or it could be their daughter, or their sister, or a workmate. What's the #1 tip you reckon to get a girl into cycling who's never ridden a bike before? Who can ride a bike, but she hasn't ridden one for 20 years.
I'd say there are two. The first would be to put her on a lightweight bike that is motivational.
Alright, here we go. Natasha, we've got Natasha here. Guest today. We've got the viral TikTok star, Get Fit with Natasha, on TikTok there.
What's up?
How to get your girlfriend, how to get, not even just your girlfriend, your wife, your sister, your workmate, how to get females into cycling. Natasha, we're going to talk about 5 tips here that I've found over the last 25 years. Devastatingly effective, and Natasha agrees with them.
Yeah.
I
think first off I'll start by saying how I got into cycling from the very beginning. So it started with the inspiration from watching Harley's videos, and I knew road bike, mountain bike shoes, and the Shimano A530 double-sided pedals. So it was Harley's inspiration, and my dad as well, because I didn't have a car in Sydney. He's like, I've got this road bike, like, you should ride around for commuting, ride to tennis, to the shops. So that's what I did, and
no, it's popping out of the tripod. Natasha was saying about your dad, wasn't that bike from the swamp?
Yeah, so he found a bike in a swamp in Kurnell in the Shire, and that's what I started riding around at first. But then the gear ratios were horrendous.
So really hard to ride.
Really hard.
Grinding out the knees.
Especially from the train station back home, it was uphill. So then I swapped over to a Reed Osprey,
which is like a cheaper value. Australian brand,
which is a cheap.
And did it have easier gears?
It did.
Okay, so then got the hills more fun.
Yep.
So that's how you got into cycling. Some of the videos, your dad said, "Hey, get into it" as well. So you had that sort of like support online in real life.
Yeah. So I had the guidance from you telling me mountain bike shoes and the A530 pedals,
which is like a double-sided pedal. So you can sneakers on one side, other side you can clip in.
And then I had my dad to physically take me to the shop and ride some bikes, so that was helpful as well.
Yeah. Did you get, when you first rode clip-in shoes, was it like awkward, or did you have crashes, or were you like, oh, this is stupid, or did you go, wow, this is better?
Yeah, it was awkward. I crashed twice. I didn't crash into things. I fell on my side.
You didn't practice enough before your first ride?
Yeah.
So everyone does. You want to clip in and clip out at least 100 times each foot before you leave the house.
It was actually in the first week of riding, and pulled up to the pedestrian crossing. I didn't clip out in time, and this was at a Piedmont Bridge.
Boom.
And also going down Parramatta Road on the footpath, and my wheel got sort of caught between one of the
gaps in the concrete.
The gaps with all the wiring underneath, and they put the plate on top, those like Telstra things, and my wheel got caught, and I couldn't clip out in time, and I fell on my side again.
Did you have gloves on or not?
I did.
Oh, good luck. Always wear gloves, gang. Wear gloves. So that's it. So that's your intro to cycling. Yeah. And now, what? I mean, if you're going to get someone into cycling, what's 5 tips you'd say? So
5 tips. So I guess we'll go between us.
Yeah, we talk about the lightweight bike. We're talking about a lightweight bike.
Yeah. So a lightweight bike is extremely important. You don't want to put your wife, girlfriend, or female friend on a
clunker.
On a heavy old mountain bike, on a beach cruiser, because it's heavy, and you got to pull that thing along, and it's just the difference between a beach cruiser and a lightweight rim brake road bike is just night and day. They are chalk and cheese. So
they are chalk and cheese. An example would be, you know, I could visualize if someone said, "Hey Harley, you know, go and do a 200k time trial. We've got a TV camera is going to follow you. You know, do it." I'll be like, "Well, give me 30 minutes to prep. I'll get changed, have some food, let's go." If they said, go and do it on a beach cruiser, I'd be like, oh, I mean, how much I'm getting paid again?
Yeah.
You know? Like, I'd be straight away, I'd be like, oh, nah, dude, like what? People, oh no, it's more resistance, you know, like you get stronger. Not how it works. It's not how it works. Like, it's like a computer that spins up real fast and fast Wi-Fi. You're motivated to create content because everything's just working quick. You don't have that spinning beach ball of like delay. So a bike that when you put the power down, the gears don't jump around because you've got them tuned properly. You push the pedals and you feel that kick forward and you feel empowered to ride it. So I'd say the Magic is probably around 7.3, 7.5 under 7 kilos, depends on your body weight. And these bikes, they launch forward when you put the pedals down. You know, so you want to go. Like if you've ever driven a Porsche or Ferrari, when you hit the accelerator, you get this sense of like, oof, wow. And that's the same with a lightweight road bike. So you don't want to put them on a clunker. You know, you want to put them on the lightest bike you can get. And that could be maybe just change the tires so they're skinnier, or you pump the tires up just so you have, or the change lube so you have that responsiveness. That's right. So there's ways you can make any bike feel faster. So the fastest bike in any given moment is the best bike to ride, motivation-wise.
The next tip is comfortable saddle.
Oh yeah.
Comfortable saddle is so important, and you may have to experiment with this. I was lucky enough on my Reed Osprey, which is like a mega rally road bike. The saddle was so comfortable, and it's actually the same saddle that we run on the e-bike now. So
sort of Velo lady saddle.
Yeah, it's a Velo lady saddle.
Got a cutout sort of shape.
You ideally you want a cutout so your mutt's not getting mashed and numb and hurting. So my other favourite saddles are the Specialized Mimic. It's got extremely soft memory foam down the centre with a short nose. I find short nose saddles generally work best for females.
Snub nose, yeah.
As well as the Specialized Power. So those are the two saddles that I run on the Defy and my Pragma Glycogen.
Yeah, there you go. So yeah, Specialized makes some great saddles.
Mimic and Power.
Yeah, Specialized Mimic. Specialized is the brand, Mimic is the model.
What was the one that Amanda Cocker recommended?
It's a Cell Italia Diva or something like that.
Gel Diva Flow.
Yeah. Little Diva cat just walked in the
a little Diva Roxy cat.
Diva puss.
Hey?
So yeah, you want to, it's experimentation of saddles, and also you want to make sure the saddle's like not pointed up, because if it's pointed up it's going to rub, it's going to give you a lot of friction in your perineum.
You want it level, or maybe leveled down just a little.
Yeah. Right.
And you can experiment with these saddles for 30 days from Specialized, can't you?
Yeah, a lot of them you can. You know, generally your good bike shops will have a box of saddles you can put on off your bike, and learn how to put a saddle on, learn how to take a saddle off, learn how to adjust it like a nano degree up or down. This is so simple. We need an Allen key to do it. So simple. Have some carbs, have some water, breathe, and just learn how to angle a saddle so then you can have it custom to you. Because you might go take it to the shop and go, I'm a woman, you just fix that for me. But these bikes are built by women in the factories in China, etc. Right? So women just have better dexterity. That's why I go see a woman dentist versus a male dentist. They just have better dexterity.
Okay.
So women, learn how to angle your saddle so you can have that perfect height. You know, like Natasha says, oh, my saddle's not perfect. I'll give her the Allen key and so do this bolt here left or right, and so she can have that power and make those subtle changes. And you empower a person by showing them how to do a saddle up and down. There's plenty of tutorials on YouTube. It's just one bolt or two bolts.
Yeah.
They move the saddle up, down, forward, back, and then get a white-out pen and mark it your seat height. So when you've got a height you're happy with, if it slips, you've got a reference point. These are simple things that can be game changers.
The next tip is encouragement.
Yeah, encouragement.
You have to be
praise.
You have to be very nice to your lady friend, and you can't go zooming ahead of her. You can't be dropping her the whole ride because she's going to get very upset, and I'd get very upset as well.
Yeah.
And I'd get so upset I'd turn around and go home, because it's like, what's the point of this? You know, are you taking me out on a ride, or are you taking me out just to drop me?
Yeah. So yeah, you want to. I think a big tip is let the woman
set the pace
on a ride. Nowhere else in life, but let the woman set the pace on a ride. Let the woman set the pace on a ride. Otherwise, there's going to be big trouble, little China. Like, I mean, unless you're drafting her, pacing her for a climb or whatever. So
yeah.
And in that case, have a little mirror so you make sure you're not dropping her. But yeah, having a mirror on your bike's really good. Otherwise, what I see is guys riding, and the woman's like 10 meters back, 100 meters back.
Oh,
She's not going to be enjoying it.
It's not enjoyable.
And
we
I've ridden
want to
with,
be riding together.
yeah, I've ridden with plenty of pro riders over the years, like World Tour riders, like, you know, Wiggins and Froome, and I've held their wheels and stuff. But when, you know, let's say I've done a big ride and I've gotten dropped, you know, and then I come across these pro riders or whatever, and I can't hold the wheel, and they just ride away from me. It doesn't. I mean, I'm okay with it, but I think if I'm a noob, this is my first ride, I'm not going to enjoy cycling. Like, I get it. You know, if I've done 200 Ks and I'm, you know, maybe dehydrated or whatever, and I get dropped by someone, like, I get that feeling. But if you're a noob and you get dropped in the first 100 meters, you don't want to come back, you know, unless you're like next level.
Yeah.
And most people don't exist like that. So
And it's important to give a lot of praise
yeah,
to remind her that she's doing well and
keep the pace slow.
yeah.
Right?
And
Keep it like walking pace to start with.
yeah.
Keep the pace so frustratingly slow, she gets frustrated. Like, come on, let's go faster.
Yeah.
Right? And then when she says, let's go faster, you're like, ah, here we go. You know what I mean? And then let her set the pace. Don't go, okay, let's go, and then start smashing it. Yeah, ideally have a power meter and keep your rides under 100 watts. Right? Oh, that's too, like, do you want your girlfriend or you want your lady to ride or not? And that's what I've found. All my, you know, women I've coached over the years, girlfriends or friends or whatever, I always do these 100-watt rides, you know, and then they finish the ride and they're like, wow, that was easier than I thought it was going to be, you know.
Yeah.
And they want to come do it again. If you go
And
do
again,
a ride,
and again, and again,
if you
and
go and
again.
average 200 watts and she's just trying to hold wheel all the time, she's not going to enjoy it. You know, she ain't going to come back out most of the time. Or it won't be sustainable for us. So I've seen a lot of women get into cycling, really get into it, and then just quit because it was just they made it way too hard for themselves, too much expectations. So if you put, you know, have low expectations, you know, and make them even lower and lower and lower, so it's like a 1 out of 10 expectation, and then she'll want to come back, man, because it's fun for her. When something's fun, women are attracted to it. Right? So there's a time to slaughter yourself, and that's probably about a year later when you understand recovery and things like that. But even then, you know, that's what we do in racing, in bike racing. We attack riders to demoralize them, and by attack I mean, you know, we'll attack at like 1200 watts to open up a gap. And that rider's like, oh, I just can't do that, stuff it, you know, I'm just going to ride easy now. So if you're attacking your girlfriend, when her average watts is 100 and you're surging at 300 or 400, well, what are you doing? I mean, it's good if you want to demoralize them so they never ever come out again, you know. Otherwise, keep it under 100 watts and then goes from there, okay? Another tip, so lightweight bike, saddle,
praise, and encouragement.
Pacing,
yep.
Keep the power meter, keep the watts down. Gear ratios, make sure that she isn't in a gear where she's grinding it up the hill where it's just like so hard, because she ain't gonna enjoy it, man. So have those gears where we can spin.
I'd say as a minimum a +2.
+2, so that's like a 34,
34 with a
36
36
on the back. Yeah. Natasha on her bikes and my bikes, we use changing some absolute black.
The oval
for the Shimano 11 speed.
4630s.
Yeah, so 4630
with a 32 on the back.
32 on the back, and that's good for most epic climbs. But if you live in Malaysia,
Penang.
Yeah, Penang, man, Malaysia's got some epic climbs. I mean, I'm a climber. Climbing's my forte.
You need mountain bike.
And it's I've got the KOM. It's probably the hardest KOM in the world, I reckon. Yeah. I've got the KOM in that, not because I'm the fastest guy out there, because I'm the one who had the balls to do it. Because it's just so steep. A lot of guys just like, nah, it's too steep, I'm not doing it. Because they're gearing, it's just impossible. They snap a chain.
Yeah.
Go up there and stand a crank, you're going to snap a chain. So gear ratios are very, very important. And you can disagree with me, but you're still going to be wrong. And look at my girlfriends over the years, friends, they always just stay addicted to cycling because they learn from day one what to do, what not to do. And they still do it. Even if they hate my guts, they're still riding bikes using my template. Alright, so there's something in there. What else have we got? Number 5, carbohydrates and water. Make sure you always bring snacks. Never let a woman get hungry. If she gets low carb, boom, your life's going to be tough. Alright, so always bring snacks. Bring some Cliff Bars, some dates, some sugar water, sweet drinks.
And make sure...
No stevia, no aspartame,
stevia.
unless you want a cranky, angry, hangry woman.
Make sure you put 2 bottle cages
Cortisol.
on her bike. 2 bottle cages is important.
2.
1 bottle cage for a syrupy sweet drink, the other bottle cage for fresh water.
Yeah.
And that way you ride along, it's super easy to grab your bottle, take a swig, fresh water, and keep going, going.
And make sure she has gloves on and a helmet.
Yep.
Otherwise, she rip her palms up, ain't gonna come back. And then,
True.
And if she's not confident drinking with one hand, like, have regular stops, right? Yeah. And when you stop, say, hey, slowing down, just give her some basic road rules and just communicate. If you're gonna go left, say left. If you're gonna go right, say right. Otherwise, and teach them about overlapping wheels, but that's another video. These basic things. So if you keep the pace slow, and if a woman's not comfortable riding one-handed, just stop every 10 minutes so she has a chance to have a drink.
And you know, you should ask her, are you hungry, are you thirsty? If even there's a little bit of hunger, you stop.
Don't even ask her, I reckon, just force it.
Just stop anyway.
Because a lot of women like, I don't want to be annoying and stop all the time. Like, just force the stops. Go and just go have a quick drink of water.
Oh, okay.
And she might copy you, right? If you're an alpha male, she'll model you. Don't ask if a woman's, like, take the lead. Because otherwise, if you ask for permission to have, like, this not how it works. Women want to be led.
No, but you're making it comfortable that you want to stop.
Yeah, like, I'm stopping.
But she might be carved up and hydrated.
She may be, but you're just stopping it. So then it's just like, yeah, because it's so easy to forget to eat and drink. Right? So by being the model, it's easy for people to copy you and make it easy and safe. So stop, you know, top of the climb, have a sip, boom, boom, and then do that. And yeah, have a sip of water. Keep your mouth moist. Otherwise, you get cavities from dry mouth.
Yeah.
These things people don't talk about.
Yeah.
I think that's covered most of it.
Yep. Those were the
tire pressure
tips
as well. Make sure tire pressure is appropriate if you're riding on dirt. Keep the tires nice and soft, like 20 psi for the mountain bike, so she can actually steer. And you know, and just keep the pace slow. Just keep the pace slow. And women out there
on a road bike, what PSI from about?
It's 80 to 120, depends on the size of your tire.
Yeah, it does.
But also, women out there, right, you might go riding with an inexperienced guy who really means well, but don't try and keep up on the downhill. Don't try and keep up in the corners. I know a friend, EJ, she broke both her wrists.
She went over the bars and her elbows got done.
I think she broke both her wrists in the cast.
Both her wrists. Yeah.
And EJ's, you know, she's a pretty experienced. She's a go-getter. She's an experienced road rider, but she hadn't done much off-road. And so she was going downhill with a lad and trying to keep up, and had a massive crash. You know, really unfortunate. So people out there, like, riding on dirt is different to road. Riding in the wet is different to the dry. Like, just don't try and keep up, otherwise you will have a nasty crash. And hopefully it's not really bad. I remember one girl, you know, her partner was teaching her how to sprint out the saddle. And don't sprint out the saddle, man, because if you do that on the flat and your chain jumps, you're crashing. Right? Out the saddle's okay if you're just cruising along up the hill, yeah. If you're sprinting out the saddle and you're not really experienced, if you slip a chain, you don't know what's going to happen. So anyway, so her chain slipped and she smashed out most of her front teeth, you know. And she's like, oh, you're right, Harley. I'm like, dude, I'm always right when it comes to weight loss, cycling, social media stuff, you know. I've made a lot of mistakes. I've learned the hard way. Don't sprint out the saddle, because if you, and on the flat, what's the point? One, you're not as aero. Two, you're not Peter Sagan racing for the Tour de France. Three, it's too much risks of crashing. You're skipping a chain. There you go.
There you have it.
The risk isn't worth the reward. Done deal. You got any questions, comments down below?
Down below.
Peace. You turn off. Thanks.